Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Micah. How are you?
Doing fantastic.
Good.
Hi, my name is Micah Mruat,
I'm Eric Orland.
and we are both with eXp Realty, the fastest growing real estate brokerage in U.S. history.
Yeah, I was so excited to have the opportunity, Micah, to kind of talk about eXp this morning and share why eXp is the fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate and how this incredible brokerage platform is so agent-centric and the impact it may have on their careers. One of the beautiful things about the eXp platform is that it provides two very distinct benefits, Micah. One is a level of coaching, training, support, and technology that I really think is going to have an incredible impact on your business. Secondly, because we are cloud-based, it offers agents like you and I, and everybody for that matter, to have multiple streams of income made available, providing for us, maybe for the very first time ever, a level of financial security and stability that's never existed before in the real estate sector. And so as we delve into eXp, what is eXp and how it's going to impact people, some questions that I'd like people to really kind of think about as we go through the platform. One is, are you maximizing your income earning potential? Are you maximizing your income earning potential? Because that's the reason we get up in the morning, get dressed, and go to work, right?
Right. Well, that's oftentimes why many of us got into real estate.
Exactly.
Right? So not having that ceiling, going from an 8 to 5 to potentially 24/7, but being able to pass on that legacy to our heirs.
Yeah, without a doubt. Secondly, for me, is are we giving agents tools and systems, a technology stack that allows them to sell more real estate? Because after all, that's the reason people got their real estate license, is to sell as much real estate as possible. So that's really important to consider. Thirdly, at eXp, we've assembled some of the best talent in the country, as you know.
Right.
And the other thing to consider, not only is eXp the fastest growing brokerage firm of all time, we are publicly traded, where the rest of the other companies, our competitors, are lingering, being in one country, the United States or perhaps Canada. eXp is now approaching opening in 30 different countries.
So right before COVID hit, my husband and I were at a Tony Robbins event. And, one of the things that he said really stuck with me is, are you a business owner or are you a business operator? And I think a lot of times, many of us get into real estate to become a business owner, right? And so what does that mean? Owning your own time, having that unlimited ceiling of financial opportunity. Well, what happens is if you're doing the day-to-day grind, then you are an operator, not an owner. So the big question that he asked us was, if you stepped away from your business today, would your business grow or die? And I have to say, I've done a lot of events and I've asked many real estate, hundreds and thousands of agents all over the country this question, and 90% of their hands go up, say their business would die if they stepped away. And so I would argue, are you an owner or are you an operator?
That's a fair question.
And I think for the first time in our industry, eXp has given agents the ability to truly become the owner and have, as you mentioned, the multiple streams of income, the lead generation, all the tools necessary in building a sustainable business.
Yeah, and when you look at the multiple streams of income, I think the one thing everybody can agree upon, are you better off having 4 or 5 streams of income or one stream of income? And I think the answer is obvious, because traditionally how real estate agents got paid is transactional. You sell a property, you earn a commission. Today at eXp, it's not just earning a commission, but it's multiple other ways to make money, providing, again, a level of financial security that realtors typically never had the opportunity to enjoy before.
So let's take a little bit of a history lesson, if you will, of kind of what this means to the agent. So if we go look at the old-fashioned model, or let's take a look at other industries. So I don't know about you, Eric, but I don't get movies at Blockbuster anymore.
No, I don't think anybody listening is going to go over to Blockbuster this evening to pick out their favorite movie and, of course, their favorite candy. The whole industry has changed. Not just the industry, but a global society has changed, moving away from brick and mortar and really to a cloud-based model. And eXp was smart enough to be the first company to follow that suit.
Yeah. And I think something that's really interesting is Glenn Sanford created this model back in 2009, which we all know what you mentioned COVID, but we also know what happened in 2008, 2009.
Right.
Market crashed, right?
Exactly.
So it was almost founded as a need. So let's look at some of those old-fashioned models. Many of them are franchises, right? So they're passing on those franchise fees to their agents. You mentioned the brick and mortar office. So yes, they have the big fancy office, just like my first brokerage, which I did. But over time, I realized I was paying for that office.
Micah, to your point, the fact that there's no franchise fees, the fact that there's no brick and mortar costs allows an investment into realtors in a way that I've never seen previously. And that shows in the form of, over 2,000 eXp employees that are there at a realtor's beck and call to answer any questions that they may have so that real estate agent can transact with as fluidly or smoothly as possible. Also, a level of coaching and training. 40 to 60 hours of live coaching and training each and every week. So agents are now armed with tools that allow them to elevate their business. It's been unbelievable. So it's no longer about jumping in your car, driving over to the office and praying like heck that your broker's there to answer any questions. Today in real time, if you have a question, you go into a broker room at eXp World and your questions are addressed in real time, absolutely immediately. And that holds true if you need tech support, marketing, accounting, legal, anything. Information is dispersed right at your fingertips. So again, you could transact as smoothly as possible. This platform has transformed the way that real estate agents are selling real estate.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. And I like to call it cloud-based freedom, right?
It is.
One of the things that I hear often is, why would you be a part of a real estate brokerage that doesn't own any real estate?
Mm-hmm.
Does Uber own any cars? Airbnb own any houses, right?
Good
We
point.
talked about those other industries. And so, the way that I look at it, Eric, is because we don't have all the overhead and the franchise fees and the royalties and all these different things that kind of come with the old-fashioned model, is I find that our agents are very entrepreneurial, right? Many of them are investors, and they actually invest back into their local market. So yes, maybe eXp itself doesn't have or operate in a real estate physical space, which we do have shared office spaces we'll talk about later on. But we give the ability for agents to have office spaces.
Yep.
And I know just like you, for me, I'm licensed in multiple states. So that's something that I think is so unique. Whilst other global brands, yes, they're global, but again, they're franchises. So how they operate in Florida may be completely different than how they operate in California.
Right.
With us, we're one company. So
That's right.
all 50 U.S. states, opening a couple additional countries this year. So we should be hitting over 30 countries. So you're no longer dealing just in your backyard. You now have this global opportunity.
Without a doubt.
We've said it before. I think we've only just begun. We often hear, eXp is just a recruiting company, because obviously there's some major financial benefits to attracting, your friends and family into the industry or people that that are already in real estate.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is we are a real estate brokerage first. And numbers don't lie. Transactions are showing year over year. We're number one often in transaction sides.
Mike, I want to piggyback on what you just said because I think it's vitally important. I think a lot of times in the marketplace, because eXp provides multiple streams of income to their agents, people will say, at eXp, it's all about recruiting or it's all about getting stock or having ownership in the company. And I think that's really the furthest thing from the truth. I think what validates this platform is eXp sells more real estate at eXp than any other brokerage firm on the planet. So first and foremost, eXp is the most successful real estate sales organization that's out there. Now, because we're selling lots of real estate and we're bright enough to be cloud-based and we're not dumping money into an office and paying for those outlandish expenses, yes, there is a financial benefit to all of our agents to earn income a variety of different ways.
So we have a full proprietary system. It's a back-end dashboard where you see your performance, you see your commissions, your transactions, your stock equity awards that you've earned, and then of course the revenue share. There's a live dashboard as well. So just having that visibility is incredibly important. What do they say, that if you can't measure it, you can't manage it, right? So is that the old saying?
Exactly. You touched off on a lot of things right now. You touched off on CAP, ICON. Let's talk a little bit about that, the different ways for people to make money at eXp.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, because we are a cloud-based platform, we have the opportunity to give more money back to our agents. So it's as simple as this. We're agent owned. So every agent has the opportunity to be a shareholder in the company. So every agent is on the same compensation plan, which I love. So it's 80-20. It's a very, very competitive split. 80% going to the agent, 20% going to eXp, up into a $16,000 company dollar cap. you hit that cap per your anniversary year, and then you have the opportunity to go to 100% plus.
Yes.
So
I want to highlight that because eXp $16,000 cap. So I want to be really clear with everybody. So when you hit that cap of $16,000, you're now put in a position of keeping more of what's rightfully yours. eXp has one of the lowest caps in the industry out of any of the full service brokerage firms that are out there. So an agent by simply transferring their license from where they're at to eXp is now putting themselves in a position to keeping more of their commissions. It's a very important income stream, Micah, because as you know, it's not just about what you make in real estate, but it's about what you keep, what you're putting in your pocket. And at the end of the day, not one of us wake up January 1st and says, hey, we want to pay the IRS as much money as possible. Our goal is to keep more of that money. And at eXp, you'll do exactly that. The second income stream that I want to share this today is being able to have stock rewards given when you hit simple production milestones. We call this a stock grant, right? This is not an option that you pay for. And we both know there are four stock grants. The first stock grant is given on each and every year after your anniversary date. When you make a home sale, the company is going to provide you a stock grant. The second stock grant is given when you're out selling real estate. You're communicating with other realtors, and you happen to share the eXp platform with them. When that realtor decides to join eXp and names you as their sponsor, when they make their first home sale, you'll be rewarded with a second stock grant. A third stock grant is given when you hit the cap of $16,000. That will happen when you have done $80,000 in commissions. You'll have paid eXp $16,000, and the company will reward you with the third stock grant. The fourth stock grant, as we know, is given to high-achieving agents, top-producing agents, when they earn what's called icon status at the company. And an icon agent is simply defined as the following: an agent who does $500,000 on gross commissions on a minimum of 10 transactions, or they hit their cap of $16,000 and they do 20 additional sides. In the event that happens, you're going to love this. The company takes the $16,000 cap that the agent had put into eXp, and the company gives the agent back that $16,000 in the form of stock. Now, this stock vests over a 3-year period, and it vests at different time intervals. But the reality is the agent is getting back the $16,000. They're essentially keeping 100% of their commissions, aren't they? You know, you've created generational wealth by having ownership in this incredible brokerage firm. eXp has created more millionaires than any other brokerage firm in the history of real estate. But I think it's important to really kind of dive into revenue share and highlight the fact that last year, and let this marinate for a second, everybody, last year eXp paid back to its agents, $200 million.
yeah,
$200 million was given back to the agents for simply doing the following: introducing eXp to other agents, simply sharing the model and building out an organization somewhat, Micah, as you know, like a broker, without having any of the responsibilities of being a broker. That means no liability, not having to manage, coach, and train, and not having to lay out any capital. An agent, for the first time ever, has the unique opportunity to get paid like a broker. And this income stream not only provides that agent a level of financial stability today, but it's something that they can take into their retirement and ultimately hand off to their heirs. And that's never, ever been done before in the industry.
It's not only allowing agents, you mentioned like a broker, it's more than that, because it's no longer just agents in our backyard. It's global, which we've already talked about, is over 30 countries. For the first time, we can be thinking about countries like Mexico, Dubai. You're talking about Argentina, all these other countries that we wouldn't have, been able to do otherwise. So I think that's a really, really important thing to highlight here, that many of us did not get into real estate to basically recruit other real estate agents. But if you get a part of them into a model that you love, that has changed the trajectory of your career, why wouldn't you share it? So I'm going to put you on the spot because I know it's been incredibly impactful the last 5 years for you.
You know, I don't mind putting me on the spot at all. Having said that, what you're saying is really important. So the company is simply paying a referral fee that when you introduce somebody to eXp, the company is going to thank you and pay you out in perpetuity as long as that person remains with eXp and selling real estate. Fair enough?
Yeah. I mean, that's an easy way to put it. Yep.
Right? I mean, really, really amazing.
So Eric, I know that eXp has, impacted you when it comes to revenue share. I mean, you've got an organization of 3,000 plus agents in 5 years. That's unheard of. So tell us a little bit about that and how that's really impacted your career in real estate.
So I had heard about the eXp platform 3 years prior to joining. And when I heard about the platform, my initial reaction, you're going to get a kick out of this, was listen carefully. Never in this lifetime will I join eXp. That was my initial reaction, Micah. And I spent 3 years trying to blow holes in why this platform would not work. Well, the unthinkable happened at 58 years old. I wound up losing absolutely everything I had to my name. Never saw this coming. As a matter of fact, it was at the exact same time that the love of my life, my son, had gotten into Syracuse University, which is a private university in upstate New York. It's about $80,000 a year. Wow. And I remember vividly looking him in the eyes and crying, thinking, and saying to him, Jackson, I can't afford your college education. I didn't know how I was going to put a roof over my head or put food on the table. And I came back with nothing else to look at but eXp. And what I quickly realized is there were no holes that needed to be plugged. The model is just what the model is. The model provides agents tools, systems, support, and technology so we could be the very best professional version of ourselves. The model provides an agent multiple streams of income and the opportunity to build generational wealth if that's what we choose to build. The model allows for us to have access to income streams that have never, ever, ever been realized before in the real estate sector. At the end of the day, my goal was to simply ask a realtor to take 5 minutes and compare and contrast what they were getting from their existing brokerage partner versus what eXp had to offer. So they and they alone can determine what best aligned with the direction that they wanted to take their real estate business. And I believed in my heart of hearts then, as I believe today, that unless an agent is wearing blinders or has their hands over their ears, they'd have to attest to the fact that having multiple streams of income is better than one stream of income, that having coaching, training, support, and technology unparalleled in the industry put them in a position to be the best professional version of themselves. So, I'm going to clarify. So 80-20, right? $16,000 cap. So let's say an agent caps at eXp. The company is going to take $8,000, right? That $8,000 is going to be given back to eXp to pay company expenses. The other $8,000 is going to go into what we call the revenue share pool. And it's paid on 7 different tiers. So anybody who you sponsor into the organization will be on your first tier. I've been very fortunate. I don't think I've lit the world on fire, Micah. I have probably brought in, today I have 65 active agents in my first tier, people that I personally sponsored, right? Mm-hmm. Personally sponsored those people so I can enjoy a passive and residual income stream. Now, those 65 agents have the same opportunity as me to go out there and build their own organization to provide a level of financial security to them and their families so they can enjoy a passive and residual income stream. So the agents in my first tier, whoever they sponsor into their organization, would be in my second tier. The agents in my second tier, whoever they sponsored into their organization, would be in my third tier. The beauty of this model is eXp pays out in 7 different tiers. From the 65 agents that I've personally sponsored, I now have an organization that is approaching 3,000 agents. The beauty here is the following. When any one of those 3,000 agents make a sale, what happens to me? I'm going to get paid, aren't I?
You get paid.
I am going to get paid. We say that laughing, and it's almost like a dream come true, right? Mm-hmm. So I am, in fact, going to get paid. But something else happens as well, Micah. When any one of those agents, those 3,000 agents, goes out there and introduces eXp to another agent in an effort to grow their own organization, what happens to my organization?
Right.
It grows simultaneously. And that is the beauty and the power of the platform. What I want to highlight here is the following. I know sometimes an agent will say, oh, I don't want to look at eXp. It's all about revenue share. It's actually not. As we highlighted before, eXp sells more real estate than any other brokerage firm on the planet. Being able to participate in revenue share comes from transacting real estate. When you're transacting real estate, you're either listening to an offer or making an offer. So a conversation exists. It's a simple add-on. As you're going through a transaction, asking somebody, by any chance, would you be open-minded to exploring a brokerage platform that would allow you to keep more of your commissions, make available multiple streams of income so you can increase your income earning potential, and also provide you with buyer and seller leads so you could sell more real estate and ramp up your sales volume. Wouldn't most agents want to participate in something like that?
Let's talk about some of the 2.0 features that have really kind of upped the game, if you will, with eXp and revenue share.
What's important to highlight here, as you well know, Micah, eXp has the highest revenue share payout in the entire industry by a long shot. Not only do they have the highest payout in the industry, it's the easiest to qualify for, meaning the following. What Glenn Sanford said is that agents who produce should be rewarded for for being productive agents. Mm-hmm. So how it works is if you are a capping agent, you make $80,000 in commission or more at the company, you're going to hit a $16,000 cap. If you are a capping agent, that is going to unlock 5 tiers for a 13-month period after you've hit the cap. Even better, if you're an icon agent, right? If you're an icon agent at the company, it's going to unlock all 7 tiers for a 13-month period once you've earned icon status.
Wow. And not to mention the pay now feature, right? So click of a button, direct deposited into your account.
Yep. And what I also want to highlight on tiers 1, 2, and 3, in tiers 1, 2, 3, there is a bonus that's paid each and every month. And that bonus can be substantial. Where does that bonus come from? So we all know there's attrition in the industry. Every real estate company has attrition. And not every agents get paid on tiers 1 through 7. Some agents are only going to qualify for 3 tiers, 4 tiers, 5 tiers. So there's an additional pool of money that's distributed each and every month. On tiers 1, 2, and 3, every agent is able to participate in that bonus.
So instead of eXp keeping those funds, they bonus it back.
And you highlighted this before. eXp takes 50% of company dollars and gives those monies back to the agents. So an agent no longer has to sling real estate well into their 60s, their 70s, and 80s. And that's the brilliance model. That's the brilliance, Micah, behind this model, is that Glenn had that vision to say, folks, we're moving as a society to cloud-based businesses. That requires not building offices and having to pay out all of the expenses, right, that are part of having an office, like rent, salaries, supplies, furniture, just to name a few. You know, Glenn and the company are now in a position to share the revenues with agents, creating a revenue stream for the first time ever. It's never been made available to realtors, and that has completely changed my life.
No, absolutely. So Eric, for agents that are watching this all sounds great. I've learned that, there's different lead generation mechanisms. I've learned that I can earn stock in the company. I've learned that I can have leveraged income through revenue share. But I need to know today, how can I grow my business, right? So let's start off with the Fast Cap series. It's a 6-week intensive training to get agents from zero to capping, to winning clients, to the Fast Attract. What are the different programs that eXp offers in their 60 hours of live training every week to help agents get started today?
So one of the things, obviously, is eXp's mentor program. Those are for new agents who want to join eXp. Not only will those agents receive lead flow, buyer and sellers, because without buyer and sellers, you don't have a business. But those agents are also provided a certified mentor that is there with the agent in a local market, providing them the confidence to listen to offers, to make offers, and to ensure their success. We had mentioned the highest level of coaching and training. One of them is the Fast Cap program. Now, I've been a real estate coach for over 20 years, and I'm going to say this. I believe that the Fast Cap program is as good as any real estate coaching platform in the country. When you look, Micah, at the metrics on this platform, it's amazing. The number not only of scheduled appointments, but closed transactions, it has blown away the entire industry. But when you look at it in its entirety, whether it's Fast Attract, how to quickly build out an organization, when you look at the Fast Cap program, when you look at the 40 to 60 hours of live coaching training that are put on by icon agents, again, icon agents that are selling at the highest level of the industry, they're sharing tools and systems that have made them the very best of the very best. They're sharing them with all of the other agents at eXp so they can mirror and duplicate that success.
Yeah. So, I mean, even Team Leader Academy. So I believe eXp's got training from, as you mentioned, the brand new agent, doing their first 3 transactions in the mentorship program, to the agent going from 3 to capping, to the agent looking to build a team, then to a large organization. So I truly believe that we've got training for an agent anywhere in their career. But let's talk about agents today. How can we help them grow the business? And I think one thing that we should highlight here is the fact that eXp is a technology company, right?
Definitely.
So we have an amazing tech stack.
We do.
Anything from lead generation, which we'll get to here in a minute, to the day that agents join, eXp on the back end starts building out their website. It's a full-blown system. You can set drip campaigns where it'll text and email potential clients on your behalf. It's almost like an AI assistant, if you will. SkySlope, which is a transaction management company. I like to compare it to a digital filing cabinet. I mean, I just get on my phone, upload my file, boop, it goes to the accounting department. You get your DA, right? And then also Canva Pro, which eXp partnered with about a year ago, where we have thousands of marketing materials at our fingertips, anything from listing presentations to open house sign-in sheets to social media posts, you name it, a whole full brand kit. But I know that we just made a big announcement about CRM of choice. We have a partnership now with Sisu. Let's talk about some of that technology stack and how we continue to get more technology for our agents.
Yeah, and I think, first and foremost, we are in fact a technology company, and technology is what's driving the future. So what I love is the fact that agents at eXp are armed with tools to ensure their success. And I think what exhibits that or illustrates that, first and foremost, is the fact that the company's just identified 3 CRMs. So an agent can now decide on the technology that they feel best suits them in order to grow their business. So 3 new CRMs, Lofty,
Right.
Close, and
Bold Trail.
Yes. Right? So
Formerly KV Core.
KV Core, correct. 3 wonderful technologies, but I love the fact that eXp was insightful to not say to the agent, hey, we know what works best for you, but instead, their message is, why don't you test drive what system works best for you? And I really, really admire that. Of course, Canva Pro is the #1 marketing tool that's in the industry. Every agent at eXp gets Canva Pro as part of their technology fee, which is great. Sisu, of course, provides agents metrics, numbers, so they can run the most efficient real estate business possible. And also SkySlope, which allows, our transaction software system, which is supposed to be the best in the industry. 10 or 11 different lead generating mechanisms, providing agents buyer and seller leads to ensure their success. And then, of course, we have state and regional rallies, which kind of brings us together.
They really do. I think it's the best of both worlds. So you have all the, the virtual world that gives you all that flexibility, but then we have the in-person, what we call in real life events, right? And so that's where the brokerage team does an incredible job. They bring all the agents together, whether it's state, they do local events as well. We're actually doing a couple here this week.
Yeah, we are.
And then the regional. So where it's where you can collaborate with other agents in other markets. What a great way to get referrals, by the way. So they do that. And then eXpCon, what did we have? 6,000 attendees last year?
6,000 people descended on Miami last year.
Wow.
And Micah, it was absolutely unbelievable. What transpired there, the training, the coaching, what they poured into that. I walked away from eXpCon not only being so proud to be affiliated with this company, but just a whole new sense of knowledge in terms of how I can continue to grow my organization or grow my business.
Right. And I know giving back is another thing that's really important to, a lot of real estate agents as well as eXp. So we also have a national or a global I Heart eXp Community Day, and it happens to fall on October 7th, I believe, which is the birthday of eXp every single year, where not only do we get out into our local communities and we give back, but, we have this I Heart eXp gear. So hats, t-shirts, bags, you name it. And for every purchase that is made with I Heart eXp on it, the proceeds actually go to Extend a Hand, which is our charitable arm, where we raise money for agents, brokers, and staff in need. Agents are like, this all sounds great, but I've got 3 kids at home. I just can't work from my house. So luckily we have a solution, right? We've got the Regis shared office locations. Let's talk about the flexibility that gives agents and the ability to go in and have that workspace.
So I was the last person to give up my Blockbuster card. I refused, right, to order a movie through Netflix. I wanted to go to Blockbuster, pick out my favorite candy, and I could not fathom not having an office. And what I think the company has clearly illustrated, because we have the number one or number two top producing agent in more than 50% of the states. It is absolutely illustrated that the model shows that you do not, in fact, need an office. So an agent has the following to ask themselves. Would you rather your broker take all of their money and pile it into an office that you never use, or make available multiple streams of income so you can fend better for yourself and your family, right? So I think it's really, really important to highlight. Of course, eXp has a remedy for that. eXp's forged a relationship with Regus and its new affiliate Spaces, where there are over 4,000 offices, right? Where an agent can utilize any of those offices anytime that they want, absolutely free of charge.
You know, today we've obviously talked a lot about the benefits as a residential real estate agent, but I really want to highlight, you know, the other major divisions that we have in terms of a full-blown luxury department and commercial, because we are offering some of the best tools and systems also for those divisions to compete with other major brands. So, you know, for agents that are interested in luxury or commercial specifically, what advice do you have?
So, you know, what I love is how eXp set up the commercial business. So within the first year when eXp Commercial launched, and by the way, it is a separate company, but within the first year, I want to say that eXp Commercial was top 12 in the country in terms of transactions. What's amazing is if you are an eXp Realty agent focused in residential, the company will give you the opportunity, Micah, to cross-sell, as you know, and they'll train you how to sell commercial real estate. So they'll give you the opportunity, it's worth repeating, to cross-sell and train you how to do so. If you're a commercial agent, they give you the opportunity to sell residential. The beauty here is the following. There's only one set of fees and one cap. You're not getting hit twice in terms of payment to the company, which again speaks to the fact that the platform is just so agent-centric.
You know, eXp is really one of the first, if not the first, to bring healthcare options to the real estate age. I mean, we all know that, you know, I think 1 in 3 realtors don't have healthcare. Of course, every scenario is different, but we always encourage agents, they can get a free consultation through Clearwater Benefits and kind of see what kind of personalized plan you can get for you and your family.
It's amazing. I mean, eXp's provided innovative, low-cost healthcare options. I can tell you, when I moved from California to Florida, I reduced my premiums, I want to say, by $400 to $500 a month. And I went to Florida Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is a great platform, through Clearwater, and it made, you know, a whole lot of difference. It was a savings of over $5,000 annually for me and my family.
So we talked about residential, luxury, commercial, healthcare, all these things. Eric, what does it cost an agent to get started?
You know, let's talk about that. So $64 application fee. I believe it's the best $64 I've ever spent filling out an application. $64 application fee. The only recurring fee is our $85 a month technology fee. And you get a host, Micah, as you know, of tools and systems to ensure that you're running the most profitable and efficient real estate business possible. The only other fees, there's a nominal $25 broker support fee. And then, of course, we have errors and omissions, $60. And what I love about errors and omission is you're paying for it as you use it. You're not getting hit with a bill for $1,000 or $2,000. So it's $60 on every closed transaction, but there's a cap of $750. You want to talk for a second what you get for the $85?
Yeah, I mean, the $85, you mentioned the 64 is one of the best investments that you've ever made, but I always joke that, you know, all of my overhead cost me $85 a month. And that's for the 60 plus hours of live training that we've talked about.
Yep.
The lead generation, you know, CRM choices that we have, which you cannot get for $85 a month. All the technology, so anything from SkySlope to all the technology that eXp offers, and then the ability to earn stock and revenue share. So all of that's inclusive in the $85 monthly fee.
You know, Micah, what I want to ask people as we wrap up here today is the all-important following. You know, we started off today's presentation by asking, are you maximizing your income earning potential, folks? Or do you have a cap in place ensuring that you're keeping more of your hard-earned commissions? Do you have the ability to have equity or ownership in the brokerage firm that you're affiliated with? Are you participating in a revenue share plan that can provide you and your family long-term, generational, financial comfortability? Are you surrounded by the best agents on the planet that are pushing you to be the best professional version of yourself? If the answer to any of these questions is no, why wouldn't you give yourself the opportunity to align with a brokerage firm that will position you to give you the results that you want, that you need, and more importantly, that you deserve. eXp has changed my life. Micah, fair enough to say it's changed yours as well. Don't let this opportunity slip through your fingers. You deserve to have the results that you want, that you need, and your desire. I feel comfortable looking dead into the camera and saying, joining eXp is the best professional decision I have ever made. Micah, do you feel the same?
I couldn't have said it better myself. And as a matter of fact, one of my favorite quotes is, once you see it, you can't unsee it. I hate to say this, but you're going to have eXp insomnia tonight because I know I did 14 years ago. You're going to be thinking of all the different things because we offer so much more and there's just so much opportunity. So I would encourage agents, if you want to do your due diligence, go to the join.exprealty.com application website. It doesn't obligate you to join eXp, but it's the best place to do your due diligence because you can download our independent contractor agreement, get back with the agent that invited you to this video, and do your due diligence. Ask around, ask other eXp agents what their experience has been with the company. And we can only share our experience, but I know that we've said it many, many times. It's been life-changing. We only hope to impact more agents, more lives through the power of the eXp model.
And lastly, I want to say, I hope that what you took away from today's short get-together was a love of company. Truly, I hope you feel that we spoke from our heart today and illustrated for you the love that we have for this incredible company that has really changed both of our lives. Thanks for being here today.